there's a lot of people in the public that are in the know, and they said, oh, you're allocating money to art. I've got a nice little park in my community. Can you do something for us? And I I connected with Heather Aitken, and we said, that's not really the best way to go about spending public money, just to be lobbied by people in the know how to get something done for their local community. So we came up with the idea that we should put together a bit of a plan. We sort of knew what our capital budget was going to be over the next 5-10 years. We laid that all out, and we knew how much money that would generate for art. And then we said, we need a plan on how to spend it. And then we also developed, between Heather and I guess myself, the idea that maybe this is a great opportunity for us because we could use this public art money to build on the things that we valued, which was our water resources and how the utilities use water. And I saw the public art program as an opportunity. It wasn't the problem, and maybe not everybody saw it as an opportunity. And I think in the mid-90s we realized that we had to do a lot about managing the city's water demand. And we were just a bunch of engineers that worked here back then. And we started to think more broadly that we don't have the right skill set. So we started to hire educators and social marketing people. And because we really realized we have to build out our team. And we need some different thinking around how to do this. And then when it came to the idea of having artists and residents, I just thought, well, there's a great way to bring in some other people that don't think like us. So I was always big on getting people that don't think like engineers. You get a little bit of a group think when you have a bunch of engineers all of the same demographic. And I thought, well, this would really make the office more interesting to have people from different backgrounds coming here and basically working on the same things we're working on, but from a totally different perspective. So that was the opportunity for me. It was never a problem. I just thought, wow, that's a great idea. Let's do it, right? I think through things like Watershed Plus, you can see how many ways that we've connected our program to. I think one of the metrics, maybe I asked one of the artists to track how many interconnections you when you talk at a conference. And so I think they've been developing a map, and you can see that there's been quite a reach through the blog that they put out and through the conferences and all the times it's been mentioned and presentations at conferences, that there is quite a reach, and we are sort of getting that knowledge and scope around our public art program.
Right.
I mean, I've been in the utilities for 30 years, and that's the way a utility usually looks at themselves, is that if nobody phones you, it's a good thing, and all of our infrastructure is underground or out of sight. So we're very low profile, and people know when they turn on the tap and the water doesn't come out, then they know who to phone.
That's when they know that
there's
something missing.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you're talking about it, it's highly pragmatic. It's a way of reaching customers and the public in a different way.
That was my view, because that's my engineering background, right? So I'm putting this logical system, and then letting the creative side figure it out on their own, right? So I'm, as the manager of the area, and I was having the art under me, that's the kind of rigor that I was putting in place to a program that was a little loose when we started. So I met my objectives, and then I let the artists, through public art, come up with their own. So we started to move where we were part of the project pre-design and the conceptual work, and bringing the artists more up front in the project. So that was one big learning. And then a lot of our projects don't have any art component at all. So then that was just going to a pot of money that get put over here, and then from that pot of money we try to come up with art projects that that are just sort of independent. But we have been able to implement a few where the art became part of the original put together of the project. And I think Beaumont Park was a good example of that. We said we wanted to bring the artists in early, and then we were working. Parks had the land. We had the need to clean up stormwater because we're regulated to clean up stormwater, and then bringing everybody together, come up with the concept for that project was sort of one where the artists were in early, and now it's being built.
Do you think our customer service is changing? Do you think our public perception is changing over these years? Is there any way to know? Maybe there's not. It's hard to measure.
I don't think there's any way to know. I think at a macro level, in terms of water resource management, I think, from what I was originally trying to accomplish with art, I think there's quite a bit of awareness about our water resources. So I think in terms of measurement, our water demand is down, so that was always, so people do think about our water. So from that level, I'm happy, because those are the engineering things that I measured it against. I don't really know a lot about the art measures within it, but
there's the attractiveness of a city measure too, which is hard to measure, but it's
and
definitely something that
who
one
does
looks
measure
at.
that? but we're building nice spaces and people visit, and hopefully our story is being told the way we thought. Yeah. Through the one in the geography conference in London last year, I think it's the same thing. You get a lot of positive feedback that people have never heard. Maybe an engineering side wanting to embrace art. It just seems so strange to people, but it's very. I don't think I've ever heard anything negative. It's just wow, that's neat. And then it's more, how do you get other people to think that way? I think it's a way that a lot of people want to think about art, but they don't know how to move that along. And so maybe we can give them some hints. I think the foundational building blocks are there. Pieces attached to appropriate infrastructure. Maybe some big pieces, working with other city departments, temporary art, artists in residence. I think, what's the next step of all of those building blocks? Like, I think we know the titles of the chapter of the book, but I don't know what's going to be inside of them. So that's what we're going to work out.
Right.